we will win the league. Except that today, your winning the league is dependent on others. Now, Ayikwe says the season was over when we played 2-2 against West Ham. Eric Coutin says, what I don't understand is how the whole world seems to think that City are going to win all the remaining games and us not lose all our remaining games. Till the last game, Vim. Like I said, mathematically, why not? Arsenal can win it. But in reality, it's out of their hands now. It is.
Okay then, listen, we should talk a bit more about this Arsenal situation. I'm very interested in how the fans are coping and what the future
fans like Gary R. Smith.
Yes.
They are sad by now.
Let's give Gary and Fentuo a call and see how how they feel about that in just a moment. First, the Laboni Old Students Association, Great Losa, is inviting its members to the 2023 annual general meeting on Saturday the 29th of April 2023. The meeting will be held at the Laboni SHS Assembly Hall at 1 p.m. and the agenda includes the National Executive Committee report, presentation of financial report and accounts, everybody's doing that these days, and of course the 75th anniversary. Come in your numbers to support Great Losa. Hey, what does it?
I haven't
help me out.
I haven't seen anything. I don't know what you're talking
about. Hey.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's okay.
We dog the dog.
Can you help him?
What does bear mean?
Okay.
What does it mean?
Walk bear like bear is what's what. Let's move on. Let's move on. And as we move on, you just reminded me that on Monday we'll have Bobo breakfast. You know Bobo?
What is that exactly?
Bobo is beans, yoke gari. So the Old Mali Students Union will have Bobo breakfast.
Okay.
Yes, at the OMSU office at Laboni. So the talk of Laboni reminded me that we have Bobo breakfast.
Bobo breakfast to come.
Yes, at Laboni on Monday for all old students of Mali School. I'll be there. But carrying multiple phones around could be such a chore. The unsightly bulge in your pocket, the extra weight in your purse, the stress of switching from one phone to the other to pick calls. Now imagine being able to switch between different numbers on the same phone easily and seamlessly. Guess what? You can go seamless with MTN eSIM and enjoy the convenience of connecting multiple phone numbers to one single phone or device. To check if your device is compatible, simply dial *#06#. Once you receive an EID number, it means your phone or device is compatible. Simply download my MTN app today to request your MTN eSIM and enjoy the sweet seamless life everywhere you go.
Now, every time we eat, foods and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Now, brushing your teeth every morning and night with Pepsodent Cavity Fighter gives your teeth the protection they need, leaving you with 10 times stronger teeth. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is fortified with pro-fluoride and microcalcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. This prevents cavities, keeps your teeth strong and your mouth healthy. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, maximum cavity protection, 10 times stronger teeth. Now, it's been 25 years since Pepsodent started educating us to brush day and night, and so they are recommended by the Ghana Dental Association. Let me tell you about two other highly effective variants that you can buy. You can get Pepsodent Charcoal or Charcoal White, made with a fine blend of activated charcoal and lemon essence. It will polish away all your tooth stains. Then there's Pepsodent Herbal. This is brilliant. Carefully selected natural extracts have been brought together and uniquely blended herbs to release, repair, and protect your gum tissue. Also, to give you strong teeth. You can get Pepsodent at any shop near you. Call them on this toll-free number 0800 2030. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent, every smile matters.
Well, let me say good morning to all my Arsenal fans, friends, including Uncle Lechu, who thought that they were going to win the league. I'm sorry, Uncle Lechu, but it's obvious now that it's out of your hands. Your life is dependent on others. But the Ghana Revenue Authority wishes to remind all income earning individuals, including self-employed, entities and all taxpayers are, by virtue of the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896, and the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915, they are required to file a return of income with the Commissioner General not later than 4 months after the end of each year of assessment. So, for example, individuals, companies, entities, and all taxpayers whose accounting year ends on 31st December 2022 are to submit their annual return of income for the 2022 year of assessment and other outstanding returns not later than 30th April 2023. Taxpayers are also reminded to file their monthly VAT, pay as you earn, CIT and withholding tax returns, and make payments of the taxes by their due dates. And you are encouraged to file your returns online via the Taxpayers Portal, which can be accessed on taxpayersportal.com, or download the Ghana Taxpayers app on Google Play or App Store. We further remind taxpayers that failure to file returns attract sanctions such as imposition of penalties and interest, enforcement, and prosecution activities. Kindly visit the nearest GRA office or call GRA on toll-free number 0800 900 110, WhatsApp 0552 99000 or 0200 63166. Send an email to info@gra.gov.gh for further enquiries.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
No more. What is love? Yeah. I don't know why you're not there. I give you my love, but you don't care. What is right and what is wrong? Give me a sign. What is love? Baby, don't hurt.
Hey, Arsenal fans are in through broken heart. Am I lying, Gary L. Smith?
Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning,
Gary, is your heart broken?
Well, just so that I am consistent, yesterday we had a review space, on the Joy Sports Twitter, where we asked the very same question, and my thoughts were that no, my heart was not broken, and I gave some perspective why.
Oh, you knew you were going to lose?
Pardon?
You knew you were going to lose?
Let's just say that yes, and maybe my answer will throw some more light on it. That currently, in the iteration and the rules and the system that we are in, it's going to be mightily difficult for Arsenal or anybody else for that matter in the next year or two, maybe 3, to take the Premier League title away from Manchester City. And that is the perspective that I gave, even before the game. And that's why I was not as heartbroken, if that's the word, as I probably ought to have been. City are and were, even before the game, and I'm sure, Winston and Kojo and anybody who paid attention to the pre-match chatter, are being called the best team in the world. Not in the league, in the world. So much so that people were saying, if they're the best team in the world, how come Arsenal are 5 points, ahead of them in the league? But that sort of answer is what we saw in the game. They are so far ahead of everybody else. It's not even a joke. It's not even funny. And so heartbroken will be the fact that, yes, Arsenal had at a point an 8-point lead and let it go. If they were as ruthless as they ought to have been and won the games that they should have won, then, of course, Manchester City would not have caught up with them. But having shot themselves in the foot by having those draws that they've had in the last 3-4 games, then, of course, Man City are always going to punish you because, as they have taught us in the last 2-3 seasons, Man City do not let these things go. Especially when they've got 2 games in hand, as they did before, yesterday as well. It's going to be very, very, very difficult for any Arsenal fan to realistically say that they don't have a broken heart, as I am trying to rationalize. But the fact of the matter is that this City team are so good, led by a coach that is probably far ahead of everybody else. They have so much money that it's really shouldn't be a failure for Arsenal fans. And I'm sure if you open the phone lines right now, people are going to say, "Oh, it's a failure because they should have won this and that." But that's just my perspective.
Okay,
so I don't know what Fentuo thinks.
Well, let me before I bring in Fentuo, let me just say good morning to Fred Smith, who, like many, asked the question: "Oh, if Man City is the best team in the world, why are they 5 points behind Arsenal?" Fred, you had the response last night, didn't you?
Well, that's not.
And I'm told you are a paid-up member of Arsenal Football.
Yes, I am. It's not a good response, actually. I would like
You
to
were
say
beating
that
Wutu.
we started the league from 0 points for all the 20 clubs in the league.
Oh, focus
So
on
hold on,
last night.
not just
Focus
last
on
night, because it's a build-up to last night.
But you were beating Wutu.
So we all had 0 points,
Yes.
and Arsenal managed to beat everybody.
What shall I say, Fred?
and had more points than all of them, including Man City,
Okay.
who managed to beat us yesterday. Of course, it's a game.
Come to reality now. What is happening?
Manchester City lost at home at some point to a small club, Brentford,
Yes.
at home. Okay,
But they beat you home
so
and away.
things happen in football. Yesterday we lost.
So are you
That-
hoping that
that
other teams will
cannot-
beat Man City?
Man City can lose. They are not as perfect. They are not as perfect. So Man City can also lose in other games. Yes, they have two games in hand, but those 2 games are not points.
You are still hopeful.
Anything can happen.
So that was
in
your
those
strategy
games.
all along when you were losing to them.
No, that wasn't the strategy. But I'm telling you that Arsenal's target at the start of the season was to be in the top 4. We have been leading for quite a long
Since
time.
day one.
Well, this morning we are still leading.
I know.
Okay. So
But you'll be up very soon.
anything can happen.
The elephant is falling off the tree.
Man City can lose the next 2 games they have. They can lose them.
Okay.
Okay, Arsenal can win the rest of the games that they have. And Arsenal will carry the day.
You're going to play against Newcastle.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We've beaten
Chelsea.
them before. Yeah,
You
we've
beat all of these teams.
In fact, we've handled Chelsea so well that they don't want to even
Out
play
of
us.
12 points, you have 3. And you still believe you'll get more points.
No,
going
but you're
forward.
talking about recent events.
But that's what is happening.
Don't question me as if you're a Manchester United fan.
I am a Manchester United fan.
Exactly. So that's how come you're
Oh,
talking
you
like
know.
that.
You know. No, but you said you were going to win the league, and I was supporting you to win the league.
I never said I was going to win the league.
Fred Smith,
Arsenal has never said that. In fact, it has been the work of the media to get Arteta to
Now you are
confirm
blaming
that
the media of which you
they
are part.
are challenging for the title. But it became obvious that we've led for quite a long time, many months. We were leading before the World Cup break.
Let
We
me
were
bring-
leading, and then after the World Cup break, we've been leading until today.
You are beating Woto. Fentuo, who's
You got 7 at the hands of Liverpool.
You are engaged in the usual Ghanaian politicking. You too fallacy. Let's get to Fentuo, Tahiru Fentuo, whose team, Chelsea, also suffered Woto. Fentuo.
Yes, Wednesday.
Good. Now, Fred Smith is, doing the usual Ghanaian thing. Mathematically, yes, it's still possible. But really, at this point, Arsenal, do they have a chance?
Yeah, they have a mathematical chance.
No, let's move from the mathematics. Reality.
But that is about it, to be honest, because I think Manchester City are a different kind of animal this season. If maybe another team was in that kind of position, Arsenal could have been a bit confident. But once it is Man City under this Pep Guardiola, it is practically impossible. And we've seen it happen season after season after season. 2021, they did it to Liverpool. Liverpool ended the season with 99 points, still didn't win the league title. 2019, they went on an 18-game winning streak towards the end to secure the title. So Man City are that kind of thing. If you give them a sniff at the title, my brother, forget it. They are going to win. And they've done it over and over and over again. And Pep Guardiola is not Pep Guardiola because he's used to choking when it matters most, especially for a league title. It's never happened to him. He doesn't put himself in a comfortable situation like he has now and then throw it all away. That's the sort of stuff teams like Arsenal do. And Arsenal fans have to blame themselves because I feel like, let's be honest a little bit, I think Arteta has done a really good job this season. He made Arsenal fans dream But that's about it. It's a dream. That dream is not far from reality, and Arsenal fans should recognize that, it was beautiful when they dreamt it. But at the moment, the reality is it just doesn't look like they can achieve that. And Arsenal have been here before. Last season, Arsenal were in the top four for a very, very long time.
Oh, yes.
And when it mattered most towards the end, they choked and lost back-to-back match, dropped points like they're doing now, and ended up not playing in Europe.
Oh, Winston,
so
what kind of partiality is this?
Kind of used to this sort of situation. And perhaps it's another thing that Arsenal fans need to look at, why the team is choking when it matters most. Because Arsenal didn't lose the league title simply because they lost to Manchester City yesterday. Before this game against Man City, how many points did they drop in their last 3 matches? Those are matches you should be winning. Because Arsenal fans need to be honest with themselves. You can't take a 2-0 lead against West Ham and then drop points the way you did. So in the last 3 matches, they dropped points significantly. Because if Arsenal had won those matches coming into this game against Man City, this defeat might not have necessarily meant the final nail in the coffin. But as it stands now, you look at the rest of the matches, and you can't even put based on Arsenal's form in the last 4 matches, even the remaining games, you can't stick your neck out and say Arsenal are even going to win those matches.
Oh.
So no, that's the truth. Because even now we are speaking on the assumption that Arsenal would win the rest of their matches and then City would drop points. But if you're being honest with yourself and you're sticking your neck out and you look at the remaining fixtures, and based on the form of these two teams, Man City have won their last 17 matches. Coming into this game against Arsenal, that was their 17th consecutive game where they haven't dropped points. So you're looking at a Manchester City team that is ruthless.
Okay.
And they're very different now, Winston. That's what many people don't know. Because I think at the start of the season, there was a bit of a dry spell. I think that was after the World Cup where Haaland struggled a little bit. And he got people saying City, he hasn't adapted to City's style. Look at what has happened now. Manchester City are the ones that have not adapted to Erling Haaland, and that's why he's unstoppable. Look at the Champions League game Manchester City played, for example. The first time ever in the history of the Champions League where a team has had such low possession and still gone on to win by such huge margin. 3-0. They adapted to Bayern Munich. That is the lowest possession Manchester City have ever had in any football match under Pep Guardiola, and they still won that game comfortably. You look at the game against Arsenal yesterday. Look at the second Manchester City goal, or the first one actually. 4 touches, and the ball was in the back of the net. 4 touches. That's exhilarating counter-attack. Before, Man City didn't score these kinds of goals because Man City were a very possessive-based team, but they've adapted. They're completely different now. You look at what Pep did yesterday, and that's what we talk about, the coaches, and the elite coaches, and then the ones that are still learning. And yesterday was a typical demonstration of why Pep Guardiola is the genius that he is and why Arteta was still learning. Because even yesterday, Pep Guardiola adapted his team to the opposition. Go and listen to the post-match interview of Kevin De Bruyne and Winston. And what he said Pep did, he slaughtered him. Usually Man City would play with a double 8. Yesterday, they didn't do that. Gundogan played as a 6. You know where Kevin De Bruyne played yesterday? He played very high up. He was playing alongside Erling Haaland, and he was right behind him. And he said his instruction was very clear. Every time Arsenal pressed, he slots in behind Thomas Partey. And that was what created all the problems for Arsenal yesterday.
Fentuo, we're going to have to come back to this one tomorrow because there's a lot of analysis coming out.
And, But, the more Fentuo continues also,
the more Fred Smith
becomes,
is crying.
Becomes sad.
No, I'm not sad because I know the facts. I know what has happened.
No, because
he doesn't have to tell me.
No, the way they think at you, the way they think is going.
He's analyzing it. He's analyzing this as though his club is doing very well. He can do this about Chelsea, who are 11th on the table. Haven't won one game in the last 5 that they've played.
Hey, was it Chelsea?
I thought that he was going to talk about that as well.
No, but it's Fred Smith.
Okay, I know what has happened, and we remain at the top of the 20 league log, and that's fantastic. Arsenal didn't set out to be at that location today.
Arsenal to win. Arsenal to win.
Arsenal to win is going to be very difficult considering what has happened.
I still trust Arsenal to win.
Yes, I'm very hopeful, but it is going to be very difficult. That's on the hope that Manchester City is going to drop some points and we're going to win all our
Sally,
games.
you're not playing United. I
And
would
it's
have
fine.
beaten
We are
them.
disappointed, yeah, but I mean, we've done well. Actually, there's going to be a float in London, whatever happens in the league this season. Yes.
You are celebrating what mediocrity?
Yeah. What is mediocrity?
A trophyless